Friday, September 6th. It's about 10 till noon. Kind of an exciting day ahead of us. We're going to go to the island. May go to the front side. Eventually we'll go to Cat Harbor. If not today, we'll do it tomorrow. We've got brand new sails here. So this is our official sea trial. It'll be the first time sailing with the new sails. So complete new set with new main, new genoa, new staysail. Really excited about that. We've got Ron from SV Makai up on the bow, keeping a sharp lookout. There's a small craft advisory later this afternoon, and we're expecting 20 knot winds, 15 to 20, gust to 25 potentially. That looks like it's supposed to be more Santa Monica, Anacapa, a little further north than where we're at. But right now it's like low single digit stuff. It's super flat here because we don't have the lazy jacks on right now. It's gonna be a lot easier to do this. We're gonna have to come way off the wind.
That red one's getting going up.
Okay, I think you're okay to keep rolling.
Okay.
Keep rolling. I'll yell if we need to stop.
Getting a little bit of slippage.
The blue one, okay. See this blue line right there?
Yeah.
Push that rope clutch, make sure it's slack.
It's disengaged.
Pull it on the end of the boom. Look up behind you. On the end of that boom,
Yeah.
pull the blue and the red line through and see if you can get some slack. Mainly on the blue line. Can you get any slack to come through? Okay. Any slack on the red one?
A little bit. That's it.
Okay, the red one, you can...
All the clutches closed.
Yeah, you can open up the clutch and let it forward a little. You can get another foot or so.
You gotta cover that. That's bad.
So the first thing that we learned is that the reefs appear to be much deeper because the old reef lines are not long enough. So I may need to rethink that a little bit. That's okay. I can get longer lines.
I think you can get one longer one for the third reef. Use the red one for your second and the blue one for your first.
Aside from not having any wind, I like the cut of the main so far, and I told them to make the... So I told them to raise the clue up a little bit so that it wasn't sweeping down low with the main up. So that's a little higher than it was, and that's by design. Maybe lose just a smidge of sail area doing that, but the battens are thinner. The other ones, we have 4 full battens to make it easier to go into the lazy cradle. We don't have the lazy cradle rigged right now, so we'll probably do that when we get to the anchorage. Sure. Let's put a couple more wraps, at least 2 more. There you go, and then you can go ahead and start wrapping her in. What are we doing on the side? Are we off the spreaders?
Yeah, we're out.
Okay, let's keep her right there for now. Okay, that's good.
Yep.
Yeah, let's pull that out. Let's see, engines off.
Probably go one hole forward, but better than it was.
We could pull this genoa in a little bit, but I think it's okay. That sail looks okay. The staysail looks okay. We may want to may want to trim a little, but it's all right. Main looks like the halyard is a little scalloping at the bottom, and it's pretty light wind, so I don't think we need to deal with it. So we've got the Ukul Egypt, a 1,200 foot cargo ship crossing maybe a mile and a half or so. I've been watching it. We've had plenty of distance on him. So it's pretty obvious he's gonna cross well enough in front of us, and so we didn't change course. We're staying on our track. Main is looking good. Looks like the staysail is maybe a little over trimmed. It's in a little tight, so we can loosen a little bit, but it probably have to fall off, you know, 10 degrees or so. The sails are looking real good, and these light winds, I mean, we've been making 6 to 6.9 and like 10-12 knots of wind, so we've been cruising along in pretty light winds. So I'm really happy with the light wind performance on these sails. I knew I wasn't going to be too disappointed with that. So one thing we did differently on this sail is, if you see this gap along the foot, the old main has slugs that go along the boom. So we've got a loose foot main, gives us a little bit more control over the shape. And then we have 3 reefs, and what we discovered pretty quickly is that I asked for deep reefs and I got them. Like, that 3rd reef is super deep. So I do have a storm trysail. I'm not rigged for it, and my plan is to not use that. We would just go with that 3rd reef on the main in storm conditions, which is super deep, and then we would go with the staysail as our storm jib. So that's kind of the general plan. So the storm jib is not super big. Looks like we could trim it a little bit. And then the head sail is a 120 instead of a 135. From here they look okay. I think we could use a little head stay tension, and I could probably ease the staysail out a little bit. So, but I'm pretty happy with them. Now you can't see this. This is hydronet, and it's tri-radial. So the old sails just was one piece of fabric, another piece. It was hydronet, but it was a cross-cut build. This is tri-radial, so if you look up, you can see more of these triangular sections. So there's should be weaves of Dyneema in the hydronet in 2 different directions, plus each of the panels oriented to maximize the best kind of load path for a canvas. So I wanted something, Dacron's never a wrong answer for a cruising boat. It's pretty durable, but you might not be happy with it after a season or 2 as they start to lose their shape. The hydronet, because it has Dyneema in it, will hold its shape for longer, and it's pretty durable. So I went with a little bit higher tech, more exotic fabric on this. I didn't go with laminates, because while laminates you can get outstanding performance with them, in the tropics they get wet, they can get mildew, they're harder to repair in far-flung locations, so I didn't go with that. So this is a Dacron based sail with Dyneema in a tri-radial build. The head sail, if you look at it, and I'll get a closer view of the fabric, it's also a Dacron build, but this one is a crosscut design, and the Dyneema only goes one direction. And you can actually see, when you look at this, you can see the Dyneema lines through the cloth here. Now, one thing about HydroNet is that the weave of the Dacron fabrics and the Dyneema is super tight. This is a little bit cheaper than HydroNet, but it's super stiff stuff. So it's not great on the hands. It's not super workable for like a main that you want to that you want to pack down into like a stack pack or a lazy cradle. It's not going to flake as well, so the HydroNet will flake better. But this should hold its shape longer than Dacron and be super durable as well, and also should be withstand more abuse from luffing and that kind of thing. My guess is that is a huge mola mola.
It is. It looks like it. You can see it's flat.
Look now. You might be able to see it.
I mean, I saw it. It looks like, I mean, that's a big one.
A lot there.
So our wind was dying down a little bit. We're, you know, like still 48, 49 apparent wind angle with 10.6 apparent, about 8 knots of true. So we generally fall off when we get under about 9 knots. Here's that sailboat that was ahead of us. So we're not pointing as high as them, but we are definitely making better speed. Look at that. Navy. So it's coming up on 3 o'clock. We threw in the towel and sailing a little bit. We were getting four knots of wind of true, and we were just doing a knot, so we're just kind of drifting through the water. So main is up, we're motor sailing. We're seeing 12 knots of true, and more like 9 or 10. So we're gonna try and do a little bit of sailing now. How's your telltales look?
Top one's flat out. Bottoms are dropped a little.
6 miles or so. The wind picked up a little bit. We thought we'd try the sails again. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look forward. Look at this, beautiful out. Wind's picked up a little. We're probably gonna get a nice, good sailing for the rest of the way in. Pretty happy with that. Did you trim it in?
Yeah.
Trim it in a little more. Keep her coming. All right, we need more backstay on this mother. And we need to put the car further forward also. So the cars need to come forward, which I expected. They're set for the 135. And we'll do that. And then we'll put some backstay tension on this thing. And that will get our shape better. So Ron moved the cars forward for the genoa and the staysail. And we're gonna have another look at the sail trim. So we need to get these, get rid of the head stay sag. We'll put some backstay on this, and then I think we'll be in a little bit better shape, but we're cooking. That's the kind of fun and games we have out here with 16 true right now. We dropped off a little bit, so now we're doing a little bit more of a reach. And we are making great speed. 7.5 knots, course made good. I'll loosen the main sheet. Okay, and then I'm gonna let the halyard rip. Hang on, there's an asshole. Does the main need to come back down a little? Yeah, that was me. All right. 4:51. Boy, what time is it? It's captain's hour.
It is captain's hour.
All right. All right.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers. Yeah, sun's coming up. It's a beautiful morning so far. Pretty chill. Wonder if we're going to get any twist in the anchor chain. I think we've done a 360.
Looks like this is the...
This is kind of a two-person job, putting this lazy cradle back on. So you can roll the lazy cradle all the way down and use those as your sail ties, or if you reefed if you wanted to, but I don't even use them, so just leave those. You got it?
All right.
So it's about 11:15, and we've got the lazy cradle on. I may need to put a little more tension in this, but that was good to get that set up. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to add some backstay tension so that these so we have less sag on the head stays. We've got this Dyneema backstay, and I had a hydraulic adjustable backstay, so I replaced it because it kept failing. So this is lashed, so we've got like a toggle, and then down here we've got our turnbuckle. So we pull these pins out and tighten it down. If you look at the turnbuckle, we've got an inch or two, maybe a couple of inches. So I can actually feels like there's a little more tension here than there was. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the main halyard and we'll run it through here down to, if we can, down to the tow rail, hook it on, and we'll use the main halyard to pull a little bend on the mast, the top of the mast, which should relieve some pressure off of this. And then from there we should be able to easily tighten the turnbuckle without having to fight it too much. Now if I had a bottom tensioner on this Dyneema with these lashing lines, we could pull those a little easier to tension. If you look at the intermediate fixed backstays, these are tensioners. So what you would do is you'd untie all this and you'd tie this to a line that went to a winch, and then you would just pull to get the tension that you want, and then you would tie it off on the lashings, and that's how you would tension that. But that's not what we're going to do for this adventure. Adios, Hen Rock. This apparent wind feels nice. We've got like 2 knots of true, 2.5. So I think we doubled our wind speed as we're getting out. But actually it's feeling more like 9 knots standing up. So it's nice because it is one hot weekend here. That's pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah. So another part of the new sails sea trial. This backstay's on pretty tight now. So I feel like we're at least set up for a little bit heavier wind.
Tails are looking good.
And yeah, we can look at the telltales. Looks like the main's flying fairly well. And what are we running right now? We're running at about 38 degrees, 37 apparent, with 7.7 knots of true. And we're doing, I don't know, a little over 5.1 or so. Smokers. So we're running a little hot at about 36 degrees apparent, and we're doing about 4.7 to 5 knots. And we're gonna sail back to Two Harbors. There's Shiprock over to the left and over to the right. Or sorry, Shiprock is over to the right. Starboard port left is Bird Rock. And what we want to do is we want to try and single tack it to where we can get back to Shiprock on the same tack. It's lighter wind, so what we're doing is I'm looking at my chart here and I see Shiprock is 214 degrees. And then if I look at sail steer, we can see, you know, right now we're at 350 degrees. And if I look at the sail steer, kind of the band of wind in here, looks like we will be able to make that 200 and whatever degrees on a tack now. We might be cutting it a little bit close, but we'll find out. So we're gonna give it a shot, and how we're gonna tack is we're gonna roll up the Genoa, and then we'll take her around and head to wind, and then we will tack the staysail. Then when we get on the other tack, then we will unroll the Genoa and sheet it in on the port side. So we're on a port tack now. We're gonna tack head to wind, and then we will be on a starboard tack. Okay, the Genoa is furled. We're gonna go ahead and tacking. Okay, you're luffing. Okay, you're in. I think you're in probably tight enough. You can probably just kind of wrap it. Okay, now.
Yeah, let me grip.
Good on that.
We got.
Okay, pull the spin lock forward. Let me. I can go ahead and get the. Go ahead and put her on autopilot. We're at 66, so we can we'll come up when we get a chance. I can hold on to this. As soon as you're ready, go ahead and start pulling out the Genoa.
Ready?
Yep. Now get your winch on it. Keep her coming. Keep her coming. Keep her going. Keep her going. Keep her coming. A little bit more. Okay, let's hold her there. Coming up on 2 p.m. Just for the record, we are coming up on the windward side of Shiprock.
Yes, listen, we go sailing.
We heard we saw a helicopter flying over. We were chatting about it a little bit, and it's, you know, briefly before that, we heard the Coast Guard calling out body of the water over Cat Harbor. You can't see it right now, but there's a helicopter on the other side of the Isthmus. Just started doing a search pattern. A little rolly here at Two Harbors. We're going to drop in about 86, 88 feet of water. So we're gonna get kind of parallel. There's a couple of boats on either side. We're gonna get up a little closer and we'll drop the hook, and then we'll wind up drifting back behind them by the time we set. So that's kind of the plan. All right, we're all snubbed in at 81.8 feet of water, not 160.
Yeah.
I don't know why I read that. I knew that was wrong, but what time is it, Ron?
Captain's hour.
Captain's hour. Cheers.
Successful trip.
All right, not much of a cooking with keel dragger episode, but a cooking on keel dragger. I missed the cooking part, but Captain Ron made dinner. What do we have in here?
We've got some ribeyes, bone-in ribeyes, hopefully medium rare, and some macaroni salad. Looking, smelling
Pretty
real
damn good. 3:30 a.m. Radar's running and we're rolling. Motoring. Adios, Two Harbors, adios. Keep her coming. Keep her coming. 5:35 a.m. update. I don't know if you can see that, but we have all kinds of shipping traffic in the shipping lanes. So we had three ships kind of coming from outside the shipping lanes into the shipping lanes. Maybe they were holding, maybe they don't come in before daylight. So we've got a tanker, two tankers, a long tow, and a big cargo ship, and another cargo ship coming in. 20 after 6, and we're about a little less than 4.5 miles from the gate. Sun's coming up, a little bit overcast. Yeah, you can see like a tanker here, there's one coming out, a couple of cargo ships. Might be another one still behind us coming in. Yeah, there's one back there. So we had all kinds of traffic, but we're pretty much past the shipping lanes now. We're just about out of them, and we've got pretty good visibility coming in. Finally getting a view of the sun here. Look at that, beautiful.
Good trip to work on a ship like that. I'd probably enjoy a job like that. Doing whatever.
Be interesting for sure.
I could be a ship's mechanic.